right, so let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. And Karen isn't here. Okay, Dr. Karen's not here. All right. So let's just settle into a comfortable seated posture. So if you do have your, I'm sorry because I've been talking now, we're running a bit late, so I'll run through this a little faster than normal. If you do have your feet down on the ground, have them about a hip's width apart, and really try and feel the sensation of the feet on the earth. So you may have them resting in your socks or slippers, on a wooden floor, a stone floor, but underneath you is the earth. Really try and connect with the earth. So feel the soles of the feet, the outside of the foot, the outer edge of the arch, the outside of the foot, then the big toe mound and the little toe mound, and then all of your little toe pads. Have your feet and hip and knees about a hip's width apart. Your hands can be resting in your lap, either resting in the traditional hand mudra, meditation mudra, which is the right hand just resting comfortably in the left with the thumbs touching. Now, be sitting right on top of your sits bones, and if you are sitting in your regular cross-legged position, and if your hips aren't particularly loose, there's no real virtue in sitting there like a butterfly. But so you can pop a couple of cushions underneath each leg. You can also, if you're sitting up against a wall, you can also maybe put a cushion or a towel rolled up behind your upper back, underneath your shoulder blades, across that thoracic region. That really will help you sit, align nicely. Now imagine your shoulders are also aligned with your hips and your ears. Imagine you have these Dr. Spock ears and someone's very gently lengthening your neck and head with your ears, pulling you up by your ears, and then gliding your head back to be in alignment with your shoulders, if this is available to you. And breathe. And imagine your spine is this beautiful string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. So really just lengthen your spine. And then just relax your scalp and your forehead, your face. Release all the tension in your face, back of the head, the neck, the throat, the chest, the belly, and all of your limbs. Noticing the sensation of the air as you inhale and exhale. And just be aware of any sounds in your environment, just allowing the sounds to be there, and try not to run off and investigate them with the mind. And notice the thoughts that are arising in the mind. Maybe try and put some space in between those thoughts and have this energy of observation and curiosity when you see what's in the mind. So just taking a step back and observing like a scientist might. Just see what's there. Nothing else to do. So bringing to mind just very briefly all the people of our life, our loved ones, all our strangers, the ones we don't like even. Remembering these relationships can be interchangeable. All these people are equal, just like you and me. They're no different to you and me in three ways. They want to be happy. They don't want to suffer. And they all have this extraordinary capacity for an enlightened mind. So I think this evening we'll do this meditation for all these people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings. So you think of maybe there's someone in your own life who might, benefit from this meditation right now. So we start with this purification by thinking there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is psychological. So we create negativity with our mind. Equally, we can change it by creating positivity instead. And so this practice is done in the context of the 4 opponent powers. The first one is regret. So regret's not guilt. Regret is it's a feeling of attitude of responsibility. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you've done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in any past life. So we think the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. We experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, and having harmed others. We ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future, and we cannot bear the thought of the future suffering that we might experience. And we know from our present suffering, we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So we think, I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken any vows because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And then we can also regret all of our delusions, anger, grudges, anxiety, bitterness. This is the basis of why we harm others. And then think, okay, so I've got all this going on. What do I do about it? Who can I turn to? So here we come to this power of reliance, and we turn to this Buddha who has the methods that we can use to purify. So we see Buddha Vajrasattva as a doctor. We're not needing him to forgive us. We don't need a higher power here. We're looking to rely upon his medicine, his methods. So you can imagine this Buddha above the crown of your head. So, he's a little busy. The artistry is very detailed. So if all of that's too hard for you to visualize, just imagine this beautiful ball of healing light above the crown of your head, this white light. And he's sitting cross-legged, if you can manage that. And he's got this beautiful radiant face and really lovely eyes, long, shaped like lotus petals. And he's looking at you and all sentient beings equally with love and compassion, acceptance. However it is you're turning up this evening is perfectly fine. So I think he has, his 2 arms crossed at his heart. The left hand is closest to the heart, and it's holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents indestructibility of compassion. And them in cross represents their union, and that represents enlightenment. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So then we have this little section on compassion, developing compassion. And we need to rely upon other beings in order to start this process. So we think about people we've harmed, people who have harmed us, and make a wish for them to be free from suffering. And then we think particularly for the people who've harmed us, particularly have suffering for them, because the harm they've caused us is going to result in suffering for them sometime in the future. So then we come to the power of the remedy. This is the medicine, doing the practice of purification, and we start with the body. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely and it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid, and this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dina Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempiyatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajrama Memutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mempi yatsa sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kamasita me, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya, vajrasapa dina patita, dida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kamasita me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is completely purified. And imagine there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of our speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech. This overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech, useless speech, lying, inappropriate speech, talking about people behind their backs, getting other people to agree with you. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita Dida me boa, sitokaya me boa, sipokaya me boa, anorecta me boa, sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me, sitam shiyam kuru hum ha 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 ho baguan, sawa tata gata vajrama me mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a humpe, and vajrasapa samaya manupalaya, vajrasapa dina patita, dida me boa, sitokaya me boa, sipokaya me boa, anorecta me boa, sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarekta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorekta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ah Hum Pe. So now be so happy. Your speech is completely purified. And imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others with your speech, including yourself, because you will hear the words you speak. And particularly for, people who are in a position of, teaching or training, or anyone who has a platform where people are listening to you. Be aware of the power of your speech so that it benefits others and doesn't harm them. So hopefully this purifies that. So next is the purification of the mind. Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light this time from his heart. And this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So, you imagine you walk into a room and it's pitch black and you flick on that switch and the light that comes instantly dispels the darkness. So you imagine the same here. The light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, and all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all your attachment, neediness, bitterness, grudges, jealousies, insecurities, anxiety, depression, fear, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left. Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorekta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorekta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorekta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorekta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorekta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawa sidi mimpiata sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagawan, sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa, mahasamaya sata a humpe, ambhadrasapa samaya manupalaya, vajrasapa dina patita, Dida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawa sidi mimpiata sawa kama sita me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And think that there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So next is the purification, even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. So here we're moving at a subtler energetic level. As you imagine, the light and nectar comes from Vajrasattva's heart and eradicates these very subtle imprints from your consciousness. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, Vajrasattva dina patita, dida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, sawa sidi mempiyata sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagawan, sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a humpe, Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, Vajrasattva dina patita, Dida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, sawa sidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagawan, sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a humpe, Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, Vajrasattva dina patita, Dida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, sawa sidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Humpe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Sidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Humpe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, Vajrasattva dina patita, dida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagawan, sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a humpe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, Vajrasattva dina patita, Dida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, sawa sidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagawan, sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a humpe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, Vajrasattva dina patita, dida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, sawa sidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So now feel you're completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to this power of resolve. This is the fourth and final step in this process. So we think, just recognize how crucial it is to make a decision of any kind, because without a decision, nothing's going to happen. So we just decide, I want to refrain from harming with my body, my speech, and my mind. And then rejoice in your efforts coming along here tonight. Start with that, particularly for those of you, for Shrey, it's early in the morning in Israel. For some of you on the East Coast, it's like 11 o'clock at night, 11:30 now. So really rejoice in this effort, either end of the day. Amazing. And then think of something you'd like to work on, maybe Maybe you do a lot of negative self-talk, or maybe you just kind of blurt out things that not necessarily everyone wants to listen to. Maybe you watch too much TikTok. Maybe you procrastinate in different ways. So whatever it is that you're doing that's not particularly helpful for you, maybe you think about working on that, refraining from doing that. Give yourself a short, easy timeline, even if it's just focusing on that thing once a day, slowly making progress. So Vajrasattva is delighted with us, wants to merge with our mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your body, and think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next, Lama Zopa Rinpoche would recommend to meditate a little bit on emptiness. So in emptiness, there is no I, the no creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So, maybe you've just heard the word emptiness. So place your mind there for a moment, however you understand that word. We'll think of all phenomena as being empty. They don't exist from their own side. And we can also think that the way things appear to me, the way we hear things, they may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy we've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So now we do this. Prema, our teacher, Lama Zopa Rinpoche, passed away over a year ago. So His Holiness the Dalai Lama recommended we do this chanting the verses of Manjushri for the swift return. So of Lama Zopa Rinpoche's unmistaken reincarnation. So we start with we're sort of halfway through now. A mantrim born unto the triple family, upholding the mantras of the foremost pledge, the greatest bearer of the triple gem, who teaches all three peerless vehicles. With snare unfailing, most victorious, the snatcher ever great, the Vajra snare, the Vajra hook, the snare of excellence. 7, mirror-like wisdom. Called Vajra Bhairava, he is terrific. Six-faced, the king of anger, hideous, six-eyed, six-armed, the ever-powerful, bearing his terrible fangs, a skeleton, hala hala, 100 faces proud. So let's just make a strong wish for His Holiness the Dalai Lama to live long, for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche, and for the long lives of all of your own teachers. And lots of love, everybody. Prema, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you come again. And I just wanted to mention, Alexandra, I have read your email. I will get back to you soon. Sorry, it's delayed. Okay. Lots of love, everyone. Welcome, Shrey, everybody. And I will see you guys tomorrow evening. Okay. Thanks.